Okay, so the Predator Killer of Killers thing. Director Dan Trachtenberg, who was responsible for 2022's Prey, to all of our great pleasure, I assume, worked on this animated anthology of sorts. Predator film to be released the same year as his follow up to Prey, which is titled Predator Badlands and will be released in the next few months. Killer of Killers went straight to streaming services apparently and has been maybe a bit under the radar. Trachtenberg co directed Killer of Killers with one Joshua Wassung, who is only who has only one previous directorial credit on an animated short from 2017, Raising a Ruckus, though has many visual effects credits on films and television. Trachtenberg, of course, has only previously worked in live action films. His feature debut was that 10 Cloverfield Lane film from 2016, a film which I didn't care much for, and felt weird about the guy getting to helm a Predator movie afterward, but ultimately highly grateful since the result was the stellar Prey. On a side note, I actually think the original Cloverfield is good and underrated, or maybe I just saw it at too young an age. Trachtenberg, prior to 10 Cloverfield Lane, directed a short film based off of the Portal video game series, Portal No Escape, which was not officially produced in cooperation with Valve, the video game company responsible for Portal, as far as I know, though they happily endorsed it afterward and were very pleased with it. Anyway, on to Killer of Killers. The concept was exciting to me, an animated anthology akin to Neo Tokyo or Memories or The Animatrix, or the lesser, generally disappointing Gotham Knight, although it is distinct from those projects in that the three segments share the same directors and adopt the same animation style within different historical time periods. In any instance, the premise was compelling to me and seemed to assure a satiating romp of Predator based action, realizing, say, the Dark Horse Comics take on Predator on screen, which Prey had come close to doing or did also. Now, I do regret to say, Killer of Killers isn't as cool as it could be, and maybe it's just the animation not being of the sort I would have preferred. I don't mind the sheen, but the depiction of action is less sleek and ordered as I would like. I think of Akira, the early 2000s Clone Wars animated series, or many other bloody anime works as a more ideal venue where style and form is concerned, as to what I would have liked to see my ideal ultra-violent Predator animated film doused in. Predator vs. Vikings, Predator vs. feudal Japan, Predator vs. World War II, all cool ideas, and yet none are ultimately realised in as truly gratifying a fashion as you would like. And also, let's face it, those are the three most obvious initial ideas you get when you want to think of a Predator period piece, along with the Native American setting, which Prey had done already. I would champion the idea of Predator versus Spartans, Predator in the middle of a battle between Mongols and Mamluks, or how about Predator versus the USSR, Predator as the White Death, Simo Halya, whatever the historical period he finds himself in, Predator isn't quite as cool as he could be within Killer of Killers, though it is fun to watch, undeniably. The thing is, this is the kind of movie 14-year-old me wanted to see for years, and now that we have it, it isn't quite what I would really love it to be. The Dark Horse comics are more fulfilling, I feel. Check out Predator, The Bloody Sands of Time, for an example. Here's the greatest hits. Behold. What we have is fairly satiating, where I can't help but judge it based upon what my adolescent fantasies were compared to just being grateful for it being what it is. Maybe the third segment lets it down a bit. It gets a touch too ridiculous, and I'm not going to get into some of the cartoonish plot conveniences of the converging concluding segment. It peaks in segment 2 with the Predator admiring the craft of the ninja, or let's just say that, given that it operates on a premise which couldn't go wrong, then again, who would have thought Alien vs. Predator could go wrong way back in 2004? Yeah, it's fairly likable, but given the sheer potential of the premise, I can't ignore how Killer of Killers is cool, but just not as cool as my dreams of a film like it would be. But maybe I'm dreaming a bit irresponsibly or unrealistically, oh well. Recommended to anyone interested, but those are just my thoughts. Looking forward to Predator Badlands. Any theatrical installment of this series, plus the Alien sibling franchise, has me inherently intrigued. It was pretty exciting to watch, for it wasn't quite the peer of my teenage dreams, we could say. Still, will endorse it here overall. I'm finished now, let's go move on to something else. What could that be?